You know, I have to say I'm starting off this show and I'm trying to be as mellow as possible, but I actually should be dancing like a cat on a hot tin roof because I've got a phone in my hand that literally got CES super excited, and now that it's come into my hand, I'd only heard about it. Sanjana had seen it at that point, but now that I have it in my hand, I am absolutely and totally jaw dropped. I mean, somewhere there is where my jaw is. This is the LG G8X ThinQ dual screen. Now, I thought this would be a great phone. I just didn't realize it was going to be this great. This is the phone. Comes with a cover, comes with two screens. Now remember, these are two screens. This is not a foldable. But do you know that it can literally do almost everything a foldable screen phone can do? It gives you a double real estate. You can use it as both screens. When you're playing a game and in certain other modes, it can actually play as a single screen also. You can get your controls here. You can play your game out here. Lots and lots of things you can do. And you know what the price point is? Foldable phones, double phones, phones of this kind, you're expecting them to be 1.5, 2 lakh rupees. 50,000 bucks. Yes, 50,000 rupees. LG, you are absolutely and totally doing it, and doing it so well. I really hope you get your marketing right on this one. Then we'll move on to this. This is the Samsung A51, super thin phone. As I hold this phone in my hand, just wondering just how thin this phone is. Lots and lots of great features just got released. Again, super aggression by Samsung on this phone in terms of specs, in terms of price, in terms of everything else. Plus, we've got a lot of new things that we're starting off with this show. We've got news in a very different way starting from now. We've got feature stories, we've got market watch, and a whole lot more. Let's get started with today's Sale Guru.
LG's dual screen phone is here. We take a look at the LG G8X ThinQ and tell you if it redefines foldables at a budget and if the addition screen is really useful. And while talking about foldable phones, we take a look at what second generation foldable phones will have to do this year if they want to succeed. Samsung has already launched 3 phones this year. We take a look at the new one in the A series, the Galaxy A51, and tell you if Samsung has done enough in the under 25,000 segment. And there's been a lot of news pouring in this week in the world of mobiles and gadgets. We round up some of the big headlines on the show.
So I promised you right in the beginning we're going to do great things on the show, and we're going to introduce new things on the show. Today we are starting off with news, but being done in a very different manner. This is all the news that's happening, but it's going to come to you literally at the speed of light. First, lots happening in the world of tech and mobile phones, including Samsung launched its S10 Lite for 39,999 rupees. Now, this is a phone that strips down only a few features from the premium super flagship Galaxy S10. The Note 10 Lite was also launched in India this week, so this is Samsung on a completely different wicket. Earlier this year, Xiaomi announced its separation from Poco to focus on their Mi and Redmi series, and now Poco India has finally announced that there will be a launch of their new X2 phone on the 4th of February. Initially thought to be renamed the F2, Poco India seems to have changed the name, and now there is no Xiaomi involved at all. Cybersecurity experts have warned that having an old Android or even an iPhone puts you at a greater risk of being hacked. Kind of obvious, right, with the kind of stories that have been coming out. Because these phones don't get regular updates or updates that are suited to them. So it puts you at a great risk. In fact, the experts say something simple like browsing the internet on a very old Android phone could get you hacked now. So be careful and think about it. Google has announced a new date for their next I/O developer conference. Very important event. It will take place on May 12th and 14th. The last Google I/O gave us the first budget Pixels, the 3A and the 3A XL. Now let's see what Google does. Does it bring out the Pixel 4A or other things that they might do? And finally, there might be an alternative to rigid and thick batteries on wearables. Stanford researchers have developed a stretchable battery. Yes, I'm repeating it. A stretchable battery for wearables that relies on a special type of plastic to store power more safely than flammable materials used to on conventional batteries. Now that's the news that poured in this week. Now remember, this is the way we're going to be doing things starting from now. Time now for our top story, the LG G8X ThinQ dual screen. Now I have to say again, I'm super excited. You know, it's only when you get products like this, and I'm again going to show it to you for those that missed maybe the opening, that this is one of the most exciting phones I've seen in a very long time. It's literally got 3 screens. I'm going to show you the 2. These are the 2 that of course are on the inside. Comes with a case. You attach one more screen. When you don't need it, you can actually detach it and move on. And then there's a screen on the outside. All the notifications, someone's calling you, your phone number, anything else that is happening comes out on the outside. So very well thought out. Talk about more well thought out. The inside screen, the second screen, has its own power source, its own battery. So it's not draining this. There are multiple modes you can use on this phone to use these dual screens in multiple different ways. You can replicate the 2 screens. You can have different apps running on them. In gaming mode, you can use it as just one. You can make one part of it as your gaming controls. The other part becomes your main screen to actually play. So you can play like a proper gamepad, just like this. So it's a very, very interesting phone. And like I said, I'm already declaring it one of the best phones of 2020 already. And here's the best part. It's priced at about 50,000 rupees. Triple screen literally at 50,000 rupees. Foldable phones, you may want to start getting a little nervous.
If you are not convinced by the novel design of foldable phones yet or don't want to break a bank to get one, LG has a solution for you. This is the LG G8X ThinQ Dual Screen. This is a phone that slaps on a second screen, redefining everything we have seen of foldable phones so far. So at a jaw-dropping 49,999 rupees, what value addition does the second screen bring? And is this the only kind of foldable we ever needed? Well, we used this phone for a while to find out. The LG G8X ThinQ Dual Screen is a unique design. It basically has the LG G8X or the G8 ThinQ phone that was launched last year, and the case itself becomes the second screen. So you slip the phone into the case and automatically the second screen comes to life. We have seen the LG G8X itself on the show before and won't get into the details, but it is powered by Snapdragon 855 and has a 6.4-inch OLED Full HD Plus screen. There is a 12 megapixel and 13 megapixel dual rear camera which does the job. There is no face unlock on the phone, but there is an in-display fingerprint scanner which is quick enough. The second screen steals the show here though. It's slightly chunky in its design, but this is a fully functioning second OLED display. The cover screen only has information like the time and notifications that is displayed in a pretty dim fashion. But when you open out the phone like a book, the second screen springs to life. It has almost all the apps, and there's even a small widget in the main screen that allows you to swap screens, switch off the dual screen amongst other options. Multitasking on the LG G8X ThinQ Dual is a different experience altogether. You can use one screen as a keyboard, almost making it a palm top, or you can open 2 different apps on both the screens at the same time. We took pictures on the main screen and simultaneously edited them on the other screen. LG has a folder with apps that support the dual screen. These mainly include games. We played one of them using LG's gamepad, and it was a good experience, and the phone really comes into its own with such games. Luckily, the second screen doesn't seem to have any ill effects on the processor. It's as fast as the main display. But the battery life did take a bit of a hit with the second screen. It lasted us around 9 hours of use. The phone is slightly heavy with the cover, and yes, there is a massive hinge in the center, so watching full screen videos is not an option. And nor is browsing on the wide mode of Chrome because the hinge comes in the way. We took calls with the cover, and while it does look thick in the hands, the real fun of the second screen is in multitasking. And if you want a slim phone, voila, just take off the cover and you are good to go with the single LG G8X. The second screen can go all the way at the back too, but it does block the rear cameras. Charging the case will mean charging the phone itself, and there's a magnetic charger that's there for this. So should you buy the LG G8X ThinQ Dual Screen? This is a good phone for anyone interested in folding phones or for people who love gaming or multitasking. The unique out-of-the-box design wins our vote, and for around 50,000 rupees, it's a good deal.
Let's move on now to our next top story. This is the Samsung A51. Yes, one more phone coming from Samsung. So Samsung now has a whole series of phones, from the LITE series that they've announced to the A to the M to many, many more. So this then is a very aggressive phone. So first and foremost, it is really really thin. Second, 4000 mAh battery, great optics, 48 megapixel main sensor, super AMOLED screen, lots and lots of great features. But once again, it's Samsung that really seems to be getting a pulse of the market. Samsung seems to have wrestled back a lot of the things that they had lost in the market, including market share. And this is the reason why phones like this, with the super AMOLED 4000 mAh this thin, and then put it all together, super aggressive specs and super aggressive price. Take a look at our detailed review.
Samsung is off to a great start in India this year with more than 3 phones already launched in the market. While we will look at the S10 Lite and the Note 10 Lite soon, we have with us the latest in their A series, the Galaxy A51. And so at 24,000 rupees, does Samsung manage to steer clear from competing with themselves? And more importantly, does this phone truly bring Samsung's A game with it? Let's find out. The Galaxy A51 looks every bit stunning. There's a nice pattern on the back and the phone is not really prone to scratches. We got the PRISM Crush Black color for review and like the overall feel of the phone. There are 4 cameras at the back that rest inside a small rectangle. The front has a small punch hole camera that's pretty inconspicuous. There's an on-screen fingerprint scanner which does the job well, but we prefer the quick face unlock the phone also brings. Samsung is known for its A-grade displays and that's what this phone brings. The A51 has a Super AMOLED Infinity O display with a screen size of 6.5 inches. We watched videos and used the phone and the punch hole in the front didn't distract us. There's no doubt that this is a gorgeous screen. There's a 4000 mAh battery which is adequate for 1 day of real heavy use. Playing games, watching videos and using the phone through the day only dipped our battery by a bit by the end of the day. It is based on Android 10, so it has a dark mode and all the other bells and whistles of Android 10. Coming to the optics, there are 4 cameras to wow us here. The main lens is a 48 megapixel one with great amount of detail in the shots. Then there is a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It's easy to switch between modes here and it captures a 123-degree viewing angle. There's a 5 megapixel depth lens which comes to play in the normal mode and in the live focus mode. And there is a 5 megapixel macro lens. We captured the veins on the sleeve with this mode and it did a good job with the color balance. There are also some Make for India innovations that Samsung has put in this phone. This includes multilingual typing on the keyboard and a finder that makes search within the phone and internet easy, and Smart Crop that automatically identifies the most relevant part of a picture or screenshot. Samsung's A series always manages to get it all and the A51 is no different. At 23,999 rupees for the 6GB RAM variant, the A51 impresses us by being an all-rounder. The user experience is great on this phone. We love the flagship level display at this price. So all in all, Samsung does manage to bring its A game to the A51.
And now, like I said, on Sell Guru, we're going to start doing these feature stories that actually matter to you, stories that will help you take better buying decisions, stories that will actually get you more involved with the technology rather than the gimmicks of technology. So, you know, we just spoke about an LG almost folding phone. It's a dual screen phone, but there are folding phones like this one. This is, of course, the Samsung phone, the Samsung Galaxy Fold, one of the most famous phones that we actually have that is a folding phone in every which way, and it looks like this, right? You fold it out and it actually opens out to be this big screen. There's a lot of thought on foldable phones. Are these the future? Are these a gimmick? Will these really become mainstay? Will prices come down? Will you be able to afford it? Is it just a niche market? Will it continue to be? So we have lots of thoughts on this, and this is where we'll be doing feature stories like this every single week on Sell Guru. Today we're going to go deep dive into folding phones.
If it can bend, it's a phone. Flexible displays are very much here and were the talk of the town in 2019. And this year, with the MOTO RAZR ready to make its debut in India, foldable phones might just have a chance to prove themselves yet again. The only foldable phone being sold in India right now is the Samsung Galaxy Fold. HUAWEI, Motorola, Lenovo and Royole have their own foldables. This year, the second generation of some of these phones will be launched. But are these proof of concepts ready to redefine how we use our devices? Well, these hinge designs are definitely a novelty in foldable phones, but the question of the crease remains. The more you fold a phone and use it, the more the crease might increase. Rumor has it that Samsung's next-gen folding phone might have a unique glass that bends, but keeping dust and particles at bay from the hinge will be the real challenge. These phones will really need to be dust and water resistant. A sturdy screen, of course, is the most important mandate. The LG G8X ThinQ showed us how transition between the two screens can be seamless, and one screen can be used as a gamepad with just the tap of a button. All foldables will have to be supported by a clean OS that is as shape-shifting as the phone itself. A lag or delay will dampen user experience. The larger the screen, the more the juice these foldables use up. While most have a dual battery system, companies might have to develop a way to have one large battery without compromising on thickness. The outermost screen of foldable phones should have more than a basic clock going for it. We wish these have slightly more functioning outer screens. And now for the big question, will foldable phones ever become more affordable? Well, like all great technology, it will take a while, but if companies want to get their foldable phone going, this year might see the second-gen foldables getting slightly less break-the-bank expensive. All in all, foldable phones will have to change if they want to succeed. And with the Mobile World Congress around the corner, we can't wait to get a glimpse of new innovations in this field.
Now let's move on to Market Watch, where we've got some very interesting products, some very interesting things from Club Factory. Take a look.
On this brand new segment of Market Watch, well, we usually get you gadgets that you find in the market, some nifty ones that you don't usually find anywhere else. But this time I didn't have to go too far. All I did was went to clubfactory.com, where I found two very nifty gadgets. The first of which has a very unique name. It's called the Starfish. Meet the Skyfish 360-degree rotatable metal flower. This is actually a phone stand that can be placed anywhere, like an office desk or a car, for easy phone use. There are small suction cups on the petals of the flower that clasp the phone, and then using the phone is very simple. The best part is the price of this nifty accessory. It's only priced at 99 rupees on clubfactory.com. The accessory is pretty sturdy and there's no risk of the phone slipping off. The phone can move once placed on the stand too. The second gadget I have for you is also a speaker that can be placed anywhere on the go. It's a tiny little thing. It can change lights, it can spruce up all kinds of music. Take a look, and it's priced really well. Here's a light and portable Bluetooth speaker that's equally light on your pocket. This one has an LED light and the audio quality is pretty okay. It connects via Bluetooth, but it also has FM radio in it. This one is also available on clubfactory.com and is priced at 409 rupees. It comes with a small USB fan on the side.
Well, that then is the Cell Guru show for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. This is our new format. We will be adding a whole lot more new things into the show as we go along. More feature stories, more stories that have a direct impact on you to make you a more informed and better consumer and buyer of technology. See you next week.